Why, hello there! I was just sitting here thinking about making this YouTube video since the previous one was so good. What is it about? Well, Beamng, of course, because I know all you people love that particular brand of dripping boredom so much. However, I have no better ideas, and my computer can only really hold itself together for about an hour maximum these days, so this is what you're stuck with. Sorry. Now, on to the video. In Beamng, there are many different vehicles to drive, as you can see here. Most are terrible, but few can boast the deep-fried, putrid awfulness of the Bruckell LeGran, a car made for your grandma. Now, you may think I'm being harsh on the LeGran, as indeed I am, since Beamng also proudly boasts vehicles like the Pigeon and the T-Series, which are, in order, a car that can't turn and a truck that cannot truck at more than 55 miles an hour or on hills steeper than wheelchair ramps. However, the Bruckell LeGran is a special American brand of bad that drowns you in subpar mediocrity so aggressively and constantly that you begin to become as boring as it is. Or at least that's what would happen if this was Beamng, a game which, may I remind you, is about irresponsible driving and crashing things at high speeds. Anyway, the car is based off Chrysler Corps' mid-80s opus, the K platform. This is a platform developed by Chrysler to try and avoid the company dissolving like a cow in an acid-filled bathtub via the power of bankruptcy. It was a foundation that they could build every single car they ever needed to make again on, and indeed they did, from vans to budget cars to luxury sedans. Here in the game, however, the scope is cut back to nearly sedans decked out in whatever obnoxious shade of brown the designer thought he could get away with, all of which are just terrible. You have your choice of engines, ranging in horsepower from the weak coughs of a gerbil dying of an asthma attack to a three-legged sheepdog attacking a mole while coming off of some particularly hardy horse tranquilizers. The tires are grippy enough to stop the car from floating off into space, but anything beyond that, such as, turning, and they disintegrate into squealy, smoky disappointment. Now, I'm sure at least one of you is asking,
"But MooCow, how the memes does this car drive? How does it feel?"
For the answer to that question, imagine you were trying to find an inflatable bounce castle in a hurricane with a legless hippo sliding around inside of it, and it's also the Battle of Britain, and your hair's on fire, and you'll have a good idea of how this thing drives. Also, please leave me. You frighten me. As for safety, all you have are these happy little seatbelts and your own winning smile as a deterrent against the metal and dashboard violently trying to mate with your face during a crash. So buckle up, see what I did there, and get grinning. What else? Well, there's the inside of the car, not much to say, really. There's brown, and a different kind of brown if you're fancy, and, new for this model year, you have this nice shade of deep beige, which is like brown, but dumber. And that's it. Beyond that, you have the mostly useless dash, like, what even is this speedometer? And seats stolen from your grandparents' living room, which actually brings me around nicely to the conclusion. This isn't a car for going fast or getting good mileage or sitting in absolute comfort or relative comfort or comfort at all. I don't think the base model even has air conditioning. No, just like the real-life version of these cars, the Bruckell LeGran is a car for your gran, as it suggests in the name. A perfectly average, mostly usable pile of cheap plastic and brown. A car that gives you not much more than the bare minimum and so has just the thing that she needs. Well, except crash safety. But you people probably weren't that close, right? Maybe? Maybe not? Whatever. This is the Bruckell LeGran. Buy today and get a free audio cassette of old people playing chess and squeaking at each other. Hey, congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. I'm sorry. If you liked it, that's good. It's different from the last one, a lot shorter. Hooray for that. And if you did, of course, like that, like I said before I worded my words up real good, dibble me with a like down below, or don't. I said dibble in case you couldn't understand through my aggressive, terrible English. I was gonna say accent, but I don't have one. If you disliked it, dislike it. I'm not your dad, so you're free to do whatever the heck you want. Ideally, though, let me know why you disliked it, so I'm not just sitting here alone and despairing, but instead having received positive critical feedback. That's a bit of an oxymoron. Who cares? Moving on. If you want to see more of this, subscribe. I have very few videos on my channel. Most of them are terrible, and one of them is creepy. So yeah. I hope overall that you enjoyed the video and that you don't want to burn down my house. That would hurt. Adios. See you in the next video. Ciao.